To create a reminder in Google Keep for your daily check-in, you can click the checklist here or click where it says take a note. I'm going to title mine DCI 7th period, so daily check-in. And for the note, you can put, is it a form, an exit ticket, a question? If I want it to be an actual checklist and I didn't click the checkbox, the 3 dots, you can click show checkboxes. And I'm going to copy and paste the URL of the form that my teacher uses for this class. You can change the color of your stickies. Maybe you have one color for all of your daily check-ins, maybe one for the different class period. And now I want to make this a recurring event for weekdays. So the notification button in the bottom left here, I want this to be a reminder. I'm going to pick a date and time, and I want to set this for tomorrow, Friday, and 7th period starts at 2:12. So I will change that. 2:12 p.m. And I do want this to repeat, and I'm going to choose custom. I want then to click for week, and I can choose all of the days of the week that I would like this to repeat. So all of the weekdays. And you can have it never end and just, cancel it or delete it later. But I know when the last day of school is, so I'm going to click for May 28th. Now this, for some reason, goes all the way to 2022. So I just found the correct day and then changed the year to 2021, and it's correct. Then I will click done and save. And this logo right here, the little arrows, shows that it is repeating. If I want to double check, I can always click that and then save again. So when I'm done, I would want to close this, and it will create my sticky note here. When I click there, it'll open that Google form straight up. When I finish it, I can come back and check mark that as done so that it has a strike through. And if you open the whole thing, it'll actually move down into a completed item list where you can minimize that. And then, once you, the next day, need it, I don't know if that unchecks, probably doesn't. So you may have to, at the end of the day, uncheck them. But if you have these, you want them in a certain order, you can click and drag to rearrange. So I probably want this to be after all of my other daily check-ins. But this can get certainly very cluttered. So one thing I can do is pin my daily check-ins to the top. So I will scroll down here and find them all. I definitely will want those to be very easy to get to. And even when you pin them up top, you can rearrange them. So I want to put those in order. And you also can label these. So these down here, if you click the 3 dots and say change labels, you can click multiple labels. So if I remove DCI, that goes away. And click it, it comes up again. For my 7th period, I'm going to go ahead and add a label. So this is a DCI, and I'm going to make this my theater class. So I haven't created that label yet, and so I can just click create label at the bottom there, and now I can check that and add it to other things as well. So these are going to stay up top, and I have kind of things sort of thrown in here, but if I want from those labels here to the side, if I wanted to see just the DCIs, there they are. If I want to go by class period, here is my art stuff. Because I pinned the DCI on the main page, it's pinned up here, and then my other notes. If I go to the DCIs, let's say, I wanted to rearrange them here, you can't click and rearrange them. So you do need to make sure on the actual notes page to rearrange them if you want them in a particular order on your label page. The big reason that I made an individual sticky note per daily check-in is because in these checklists, you can't make an individual line, an individual checkbox, have its own reminder, you have to do that per sticky note. So let's say, for example, I'm going to look at my English class and I have this research paper. And I'm obviously going to have due dates throughout this project, and I can't make each part its own due date. So I have this listed as the due date is March 22nd when the final thing is due. However, if I wait for Google Keep to remind me of that until then, I might miss the fact that my outline needs to be turned in on March 4th, and maybe that morning I thought it was another day, so now my outline's going to be late. So the way that I would suggest to get around that is have, up in your title when it's due, have for each part that has a specific due date, put that due date at the end there as well, so you don't have to go looking each time. And then what I would say next is whatever that due date coming up is what you need to put for your reminder. And then once that passes, you change the reminder date and time for the next one. So let's say I've got my topic, I've gotten all of my 3 sources. Whenever you click something, it'll go down to the bottom where the completed topics are. And if you have these subtasks here, let's say, I went ahead and got all 3 of my sources in one go, and I don't feel like clicking all of those, click the first box and it, marks everything off. So my outline due on March 4th would be where I would want to change that. That date's already passed. So we're going to look at March 12th, which would be when my second rough draft is due. So change this to March 12th, put it at the time of my, paper needing to be turned in. Maybe I would want to make that reminder the night before so that I can look for everything. Is it correct? Is it ready to go to turn in the next day? That actually probably would be an even better idea. So I'm going to make this for 8 p.m. the night before. And that will be my reminder. So that way I know, hey, check out that rough draft. Then whenever I have the next thing is coming up or I want another reminder that I need to check in, I would just change that at the end for each time until that project is completely done. If I'm, wanting to get these things out of the way, you can also collapse those. So you're only seeing what you need to do at this point. I hope that that is helpful in a way to kind of cheat that system so that you don't have, you're not missing deadlines because you only have the one reminder that you can do per sticky note. When you're setting this up, you do want to consider how you want it organized. Are you going to have all of one class period is a particular color? Is it the labels that you're mostly going to use? Is pinned things at the top? Is that going to be what works best for you? One thing is to keep in mind you can rearrange when you are looking at the main notes page, but when you go to a specific label, you can't move things around. So what you may want to do is certainly when you go to the notes page, you want things to be in order of what it is you need. And I probably would want to not have the pinned DCIs up at the top. Even though I'm going to need that every day, it'll make it so that I can't really see what I need for the class up at the top, especially since I can't rearrange things anyway. So I'm going to unpin all of these. And I think what'll work for me best is to take these DCIs and put them at the very bottom of all of my notes. Let's see if I can get to that. There we go. And it can kind of be awkward if they're different lengths. So you may want to definitely make sure that you take care of your DCI notes first, and that will kind of help so that the new ones that pop up are not going to be kind of moving around crazy like this. So actually another way that I can fix this is whenever you pin things to the top and then unpin them, they go down back to the bottom in the order that you unpin them. So I'm going to try, there we go. So I have all my DCIs at the bottom. Now when I unpin things, they'll go in the order that I unpin them. So now, there we go. Boom. So all of my DCIs are at the bottom, and I still can access them on my DCI label, which they're in order. I don't need to adjust or move those. And they're still going to show up on each class page as well, towards the bottom. But let's say here, again, I've got so much stuff, I'm taking notes, and you can export them to Google Docs, and that will take your notes out as you want them. So that can also free up some space and make things a little bit easier to find. But I can also just say, okay, I want my research paper pinned up there, my algebra test, things like that. Now, if I do have a ton of things here on my art page, I can archive some of them to get them out of the way. So I'm going to archive the principles and elements of art because we finished talking about that. And we're moving now on to 2-point perspective. And I've got Van Gogh here. So I can keep just a couple of the important things up here at the top. And whenever I go to the main notes page, it also gets those off of this page as well, which can be very helpful. Actually, one thing you may want to do to get those DCIs out of your way is to archive those. I believe that you should still be able to get the notification while they are archived. Let's see. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now they're not showing up here on my main notes page, but when I click DCI, they're still there. And when I hover over, it'll still show that I have those reminders. So that would be a good way to have those out of the way on your main notes page, but you still get those reminders for those. So just kind of consider how can you work around these limitations that are in Google Keep for making it work best for you. Especially since you can't really make like one Google Keep board per class, which I think would be really nice, but maybe that capability would happen a little bit later. So you just got to kind of play around, see what works, see if you can have a workaround. Now, if you are going to be using Google Keep for just a couple things, particularly your daily check-ins or maybe a few sticky notes that deal with major projects, but not every little thing for your classes, you can also access your Google Keep notes in other Google products as well. So if I go here to my Gmail app, this is where my inbox would be. And you can access on the right here, the calendar, and you can see, everything that's coming up, particularly if you have in Google Calendar. You can look at the calendars that your teachers have through Google Classroom. So those should already be automatically loaded in. You can click the 3 dots and go by the day or per schedule. And then also you can select calendars. So any of those that you click would show up, and that is, a good access there. And you can also, should be able to make, if it was your own event, you'd be able to put a notification there as well. For Google Keep, whenever I click the Keep button, here are my little Post-it stickies. Now, one thing, yes, I can click and unclick them, and they should still show up every day because I've scheduled them that way, but I can't rearrange them here. If I wanted to rearrange them, I'd have to go back to Google Keep, move the ones that I would like moved, and refresh. And once that refresh has happened, it would show the moved items. Now, one thing though is because I tried doing that embedded link in Google Keep, that actually is not going to click directly to your page, unfortunately. So you would have to highlight, open a new tab, paste, and then open up that form go back and then click that done. But I mean, it is a really nice thing if you need to just kind of have a few ideas off to the side and generally click things, off and on. However, another one that's really good to see is tasks. So when you open this, it's pretty much Google's own, to-do list, which functions practically the same as Keep, just not in sticky form. So you can create a new list. Maybe I want one specifically for my daily check-ins. And then I can just add all of my tasks. So I'm going to make this for first period. When I edit that, I can change the list. I can add details. So this is probably where I'd want that form. I can add a date and a time. So we're going to put this for tomorrow. It's for first period. So that's at 7:20 a.m. And same thing with the repeat as before. I'm going to have it every week, and I can choose what days of the week that I would like. So every weekday. And then click this arrow back. There we go. And then I can click that link directly, go back, and then mark it as done. And the next day it should show back up because I have made it repeat. So I would want to add a task for every one of those and have them repeating every day of the week. And you would just need to open up your task list so that way it's there while you're looking at your email. You can find that in Google Drive over here to the side. Again, there's calendar, keep, and also tasks. So you would want to make sure that you have your list there. Now, if I accidentally clicked something, go down here to completed and I can uncheck that. And it does show that it is going to pop up at 7:20 a.m. tomorrow. So this list would populate each day and you can always check it. And then if you're unsure, go ahead and, double check where the completed items are down here. You can also download the Google Tasks app for your phone. In your Gmail app, Google Calendar app, there's no access to tasks directly like there is on the computer. So you have to download that app specifically and you log in with your same login and you can make multiple lists. So here I have one if I wanted to make a list specifically for any homework assignments or particularly large projects. So I'll go ahead and create one for my English essay that I mentioned earlier. And I had said that that was going to be due on the 22nd. You don't necessarily have to set a time. We're going to not have it repeat. And then save that. And when I go back there, I can add details or subtasks. So this subtask maybe is that my second draft is due on 3/15. Add another subtask. That could be the final draft is due on 3/22. Then if I added a few more, I need to make sure that I have the MLA. Oh, can I move this? So good thing to know here, I guess, is that you can't really rearrange these on this app. So you have to make sure that your subtasks are in order. It just kind of is what it is. And then I would save. If I need to move it to a different list, I accidentally chose the wrong one, then I can go ahead and do that. Whenever you mark something off, it is going to go down to the completed portion because that one didn't have anything. It just ended up getting deleted. But there also is a completed section where you can, again, uncheck just in case you need to. Now I am going to click the 3 lines down in the bottom left here and go to my daily check-ins. So I already have a few of them set up. and the plus button at the bottom, very simple. This is a very low-key app. There's not a whole lot going on, quite frankly. There's no bells and whistles. It's just a very simple list. So I'm going to go ahead here and make one for my 6th period. And the 3 lines on the bottom left there, I can add more details. The little calendar, I'm able to schedule that, so I'm scheduling it for tomorrow. I can set a time if I know that 6th period is at, I don't quite particularly know, we'll just say 1 o'clock. I think it's like 1:16. So 6th period, I've decided it starts at 1:16. And then at the bottom, the does not repeat, you would click that. This is nice and easy because you can just click every weekday, Monday through Friday. That seems to be something that they realize that people need very often. So if not, though, if you want to do the long way, you would go to 1 week, or maybe you only need it on certain days. Like if I only need Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I can click those specifically. But I'm going to go ahead and do all of my weekdays. Done and save. The 3 dots in the bottom right corner let you sort by date, showing everything in order of when you have given the reminder, or you can sort by my order, in which case you can drag and drop things in whatever order that you would like. So here again with details, I can copy and paste that daily check-in website. I'm just going to go ahead and put google.com because I do not have my specific login daily check done there. So boom, we go ahead and open straight into Google. So that is nice versus using the Keep app on the computer within Google Mail or Calendar, because you can't just click straight on the link and take you to the website. So definitely very, very simple app, but effective. And then if you wanted to add a widget of this, you would go to where you add your widgets and search for tasks. And there you go. So there's the small and the larger size icon there. I'm going to go ahead and add the small one. And then whenever I click that, it just goes straight to the list there. And on the larger one, though, add that. It did have the ability to just automatically start a new item. So if you click specifically on the plus with the check in the bottom left of that box, if you click anywhere else, it'll take you straight to the list. So that is nice if you have a really quick thing that you need to jot down.